let's talk about a few case studies. Scenario 1, conflict of interest with a client. Here's the scenario overview. You are a licensed title insurance producer overseeing a real estate transaction. The seller, a close personal friend and longtime business associate, is selling their property to a first-time homebuyer. During your review of the title history, you notice a potential issue related to an unresolved lien on the property. Your friend, the seller, mentions in passing that they do not intend to disclose this issue to the buyer, hoping it will go unnoticed until after closing. The buyer, however, is relying on your expertise to ensure they are purchasing a property with a clear title. As a title insurance producer, you are now faced with a significant ethical dilemma. How to handle the transaction impartially while maintaining your professional obligations to both parties. Despite your personal relationship with the seller, what are the key ethical questions? So what is the conflict of interest? Your personal relationship with the seller could compromise your ability to act impartially and uphold your professional duty to the buyer. There is a risk of bias that may lead you to prioritize the seller's interests over the buyer's. Okay? So, who are the stakeholders affected? On the buyer's side, they trust you to verify the title's clarity and ensure there are no outstanding encumbrances. For the seller, he wants you to act in their favor and not disclose the lien issue. But remember yourself. You, as the title producer, and your professional reputation, ethical standing, and legal liability are at stake. Furthermore, your firm has an interest too. They could face reputational or legal consequences if the conflict is mishandled. So what are your legal and professional obligations? Duty of impartiality. As a title producer, you are obligated to provide services impartially and without favoritism toward either party. Duty to disclose. You must disclose material facts about the property that affect the title's insurability, regardless of how this impacts the seller. Compliance with laws and standards. Violations of the Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act, RESPA, state title insurance laws, or professional ethics codes could result in penalties, license revocation, or litigation. And finally, what are potential consequences of inaction? For the buyer, there could be financial loss if the lien becomes their responsibility post-closing. Loss of trust in the title insurance process. For the seller, there's a potential legal action from the buyer for failure to disclose the lien. For you as the title producer, damage to your professional reputation and credibility. Legal consequences, including fines or loss of your license. And finally, for your firm reputational harm that could lead to loss of business.